And gentlemen, it is Nick, aka Pavel the Barbarian Bard, here with my bestest voiceover buddy.
Gilbert got a game. Hey, hey, hey. And if you don't identify as a lady or a gentleman, I certainly don't. I consider myself a broad. Welcome here, too.
There you go. We were working on some new tech stuff, which unfortunately did not work out for us. So we are finishing up our stream in probably the most responsible way, which is going to be the way that we were doing it before.
Because we are responsible adults.
Yeah, because we are.
That's a bold statement indeed to make, my friend.
Well, tonight is going to be the final episode of Phoenix Wright. How you feeling, Gilby?
Oh my God, it's been a journey, and we're at the destination, and I don't know. I feel bad for Emma. I don't know how this could end well for her. That's what scares me the most, being honest.
Yeah, well, there's only one way to find out, and that I think is to go ahead and we'll see where this takes us. Yeah, I'm going to add the sound back in for all of you sound aficionados like myself.
And myself. Oh, I get some clicks.
Yep.
Get some music. Get some tunes.
We are live, and it's worth reminding anybody who is maybe new here to the stream that when we are currently in our game, like we are right now, anybody is at any point able to type objection in chat, all caps, with an exclamation point, and Gilby and I will swap the voice parts that we are doing, so one person is now the other characters. Yes. So that is available for anybody at any point.
If you want to hear Phoenix Wright, as said by a very high-pitched soprano, well, this is the place for you.
Yeah, this is the place for you.
Oh my God, Gilbert, stop that. You can type an objection and go right back to your gender-typical, appropriate, barbarian.
All right, it is that time. Let's roll to see who's beginning with what.
The choice is yours, and you know I'm always on.
It is even. I will start with Phoenix this evening.
All right, here we go.
And let's delay no longer. Let's get going.
Oh my God. We've been at this for so long.
If you want Gilby to do all the parts, then...
No. But I'll do this part.
Then I need to gift them.
No. If we want Gilby to do all... Oh, I see. That was a comment. I'm so sorry.
Yes, that was a comment from Katie, who I think is tired of hearing...
Hi, Katie.
Tired of hearing the guy in her office just constantly shouting lines at people.
Yeah. I don't know, Katie. Maybe, aren't there those things that you can pop in the chat that are like special gifts? Not gifts with a T, but like gifts with a flat F and an S.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. There's a thing for that, I think, but I'm not computer literate enough to explain what that is. But I can read this part. I know.
All right.
February 25th. 1206, District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2.
Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble.
Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours.
I hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals.
Ellipses.
Oh, I guess I am. I'll come back later.
Oh, shit, I missed you.
Oh, the running joke. Even all these weeks later, we've still got momentum on it. I love it. Wait, Detective Gumsh.
Okay, Katie figured it out. Yes, look, there's a cute cat in our chat. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, I think anybody who's watching the chat can drop emojis in there. I think I can...
Yeah.
Hold on,
I think I've got...
Yeah, I've got this one that I like a lot.
Let's see. Yeah. Oh God!
I got the old crab dance.
Yep. Classic.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not as good as the cats getting down though.
Yeah, these emojis and many more can be yours if you subscribe to a much fancier channel than ours, because I have no idea how to make this happen otherwise.
Fine.
All right. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? Yeah, the dinos. You got a lot of nerve, pal. Making a detective run all over while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. I take it Lana's having you run errands again. Hey, let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here. She asked me to give you this. She asked me to give this to you if there was a break in today's trial. Evidence law? Edgeworth was talking about this just the other day.
Is that a P on the book cover?
It might be. We don't have it in our court record yet, but once we do, we can look at it.
So I'll be Edgeworth again. You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Is that right, Mr. Wright?
It seems so.
You can at least study some evidence law, really.
The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. A message? She said, if you're planning to take him on, you're gonna need this book. Him. I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read.
Evidence law. From this contains the 2 rules of evidence law. Look at that. That's totally a P.
It sure looks like it, yeah. It doesn't look like that book will do you any good now, though. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, detective. Huh?
Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat? Despite all these allegations being thrown at me?
Mr. Edgeworth.
Trial today hasn't begun yet.
What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility's been all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Skye found out she unwittingly caused the man's death, and now you're telling me you want to do more? You gotta be kidding me, pal! You're missing the point, Detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? And we're gonna expose him, no matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end.
All right.
See, the game feels the same way about it we do.
Exactly. February 25th, 12. 2 District Court, courtroom number 9. Oh, is it time? Time for our favorite part.
It is absolutely time for the favorite part.
Yeah.
Again. You want this one, Gilby?
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. The Inquiry Committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions. Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Wow.
Listen, when you're about to get fired,
behavior. Yeah.
never any sassier than right before the axe falls.
Oh, ain't it the truth? Yes, well, normally this is where the prosecution calls for the witness. But, isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have, struck a bargain. You think I may have manipulated the witnesses?
Katie's taking a moment to appreciate how excellent your old man judge voice is, and how amazingly similar it is to our friend Rayanne's. So,
listen, with this particular voice box, which is a certified first soprano in choir, we have one old man voice. And
yeah, so you've got
deviation from there.
You got what you got.
Yeah, you gotta work with the tools you have. This is the best it gets for the audiobook, that's all I'm saying. I didn't say that. It's just, you see, everyone has been talking. Ellipses, very well, Your Honor. I have a solution. Solution? That being the case... Oh, is that a joke? That being the case.
I don't know if it is or not, but if it is, that's...
It's very subtle, very subtle.
Uh-huh.
The prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses. What? There's no precedent for what you're proposing! Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. it would prove that I haven't struck any deals. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say?
Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well. The defense accepts the prosecution's proposal.
Then the defense may now call forth the next witness. Mr. Wright, you do realize this is your last chance. I don't know why that said Shatner, but it just came out that way. That's fine. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over.
The defense calls. The time's finally come to bring out the real murderer. All right, Gilby. Who you calling? This is also a good time to remind everybody that Gilby, when they were younger, didn't get a chance to play games. So this is also serving as like a tutorial series of sorts as we go through and learn different style of games. This is Gilby's visual novel game. So
yeah. I mean, I feel that Gant is responsible. For a while, y'all know, roll back the tapes. I could have sworn it was Jake. Up and down, I could have sworn it was Jake.
You have a real hate relationship with one Jake Marshall, which frankly I think is very unfounded.
I can't help it. I hate him.
Hey! Put those comments in chat. We need the engagement.
Oh my god. Yeah, I hate him so much. The flames on the side of my face.
I mean, let's look at this logically, right?
Yeah.
It can't be Goodman.
Because he's dead.
It's probably not Lana.
No, because that's what they want you to think.
Emma came to us.
Yeah.
So despite all evidence to the contrary.
Yeah.
Probably not Emma.
Probably not 16-year-olds.
Angel Star.
I feel like that was a wrap on Angel Star. I just don't see it.
Yeah, it was helpful at the point where I was like, that's a wrap on Angel Star.
Yeah.
So that leaves you.
I'm not feeling it. So it's either Meeks or...
It could be Meekins. It could be our lovely comic relief, Dick Gumshoe.
Oh my god, I can't even.
Or it could be Damon Gant. You've got a 1 in 3 chance here if you're feeling like guessing.
I feel like it's Gant. I just do.
Alright, only one way to find out.
He's got something to hide if he's not the real murderer. There's something there.
Let's see if we pull an immediate game over.
No.
Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand.
Gant? What does he have to do with anything?
As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant had first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it.
Luck would have it. He should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? True. All right, bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand. Well, the game didn't immediately end.
It did not.
Witness, please state your name and occupation.
So we got a decision to make. Am I also Gant, or do you want to be Gant?
Oh, no, you be Gant.
I will do it.
If I'm the judge, I think you can be Gant.
What is this? Some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch.
Your name and occupation, sir.
Worthy. Are you sure you want to do this?
Your name and occupation.
So, you want to play hardball, huh?
But please, Mr. Gant.
Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony. Oh, righto! What's with the grim face? Well, first, let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, You mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. There are still some things unaccounted for. Oh? Well, like what? Like the role you played in all of this. Gilby, just for vocal variety, do you want to take over Phoenix at this point if I'm going to do Gant?
I'm still going to say no.
Okay. That is fine. I just wanted to ask.
Thank you for asking.
I didn't want you to be sidelined here.
I'm not sidelined. I'm enjoying the show. I get the front row seat. Are you kidding me?
That's entirely fair.
I get to hear your lines before everybody else except your wife in the next room.
That's entirely true and fair. All right, let's do it then. Son, you're either very brave or very foolish. You are aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Sure. Take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? Is that true?
I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify. Is that true?
It is in this game.
Oh. I'm not going to look it up. We don't have time.
Yeah.
What? Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks.
Don't worry. I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you.
Very. This may now begin testimony.
SL9
right.
incident. Here we go. You ready for the final battle?
I think so. I got my glass of water, so...
All right. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help, either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery.
Oh, that is what the judge says.
Yeah.
Is that when Doc was arrested?
For him? He was lying on the floor, unconscious. When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Dark bumped his head.
That's news.
A little bit,
I
yeah,
see.
actually.
Everything seems pretty clear-cut. I disagree, Judge, but I'm claiming.
Right, the number of times that if we just been like, yeah, the judge is right. Guess that's
Judge
it.
is right. I have no comment. That is exactly the same thought that ran across my brain.
Yeah. If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I'd better hit him hard and fast. All right.
Everything!
All right, fair enough. That was my question.
I knew it was! Click that button. Hold the objection.
So as I recall,
Yeah.
a ceremony was held at the police department that day. Yes, that's right. I guess you could say I'm a workaholic. After winning his award, Neil was all fired up too. That's probably what spooked Dark and made him run away like that.
Was the defendant, Lana Sky, also present in the room?
I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there when Dark ran for it. To make a long story short, I did this already, I'm not repeating myself. So the two of you ran immediately after him, right? That's right, but Dark made it to the elevator first. So Neil and I split up. He went upstairs and I went downstairs. I guess you could say he got lucky.
What's this about a power outage?
Oh, that. The elevator stopped all of a sudden, and I got the shock of my life. Well, probably not as shocked as Neil was when that knife went through his heart, though.
Wow.
That's not funny.
No, it's not.
Katie has done some research for us. It is
Okay.
true in Japan that the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, but not in the United States or in Canada. So there you go.
Wow. Thank you, Katie.
Yeah, this has been our hit segment. Katie Googles it for us.
Yeah, but in Japan, though, I think is the
Right.
subsection.
Could you tell us about what you saw? It was a shocking sight. Neil and that serial killer were lying in a heap on the floor, just all tangled together. Dark was also lying collapsed on the floor? Yes, apparently he hit his head and was knocked out.
Yeah, this is all new.
Next to them were those two poor girls, Lana and Emma. Lana was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known what her sister had done. How can you know that? Because of the victim's body. It had already been moved.
So that means you found the body near Lana's desk.
That's right. I think you said earlier it was my suit of armor that really stabbed the prosecutor? Yes.
Ellipses.
Anyway. So you're saying that the forgery had already taken place by the time you arrived at your office? That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lana must have felt, but moving a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable, no matter what the circumstances. Is that how it really went down?
Staring at the witness won't do you any good, Mr. Wright. If you're going to stare at anything, you'd be better off starting at the court record.
Worthy. Always the smooth talker. But which piece of evidence ties Gant to the forgery? Lana did admit to forging evidence, but that can't be the whole truth. Somehow I've got to link Gant to the incident. Alright, so this is a good time probably for us to go check out our very lengthy at this point court record.
Yeah.
We have our attorney's badge.
Does us no good.
Goodman's ID.
No.
King of Prosecutors Trophy.
No. No, Edgy specifically said the court record, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're in.
Oh, I thought this was just the evidence.
No, so the evidence and the court record are the same thing.
How many games have you played?
I mean, we're 5 episodes in, but I mean, you know, it's always room to learn something new.
Oh, rough. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial.
Mm-hmm. Important for us to know later, maybe.
Okay.
Well, we found cloth in Chief Gant's safe, but it bears Emma Sky's prints. We found half of the evidence list in Gant's desk.
Yes. Well, didn't we see his badge number on a document?
We did. We saw that on this ID card record.
Okay.
But that unfortunately doesn't tie him to the evidence.
No, it doesn't. Not now.
Now, this is a good time for me to remind everybody, I do have a walkthrough open if Gilby wants it, but I want to give you every chance to get this without feeling like, you know.
Yeah. The screwdriver. Why the screwdriver?
I clicked out of the screen for a second, and then it was like, oh, did you want to do this thing?
This is deeply painful. And I'm like, not sure it is. Not sure it is.
The other thing is we did have the jar. We found the fragment in Gant's safe. So that's 3 things we found on Gant's person, basically.
And he is in the photo.
What's that?
He is in the photo.
That's true. The jar is in the photo.
Maybe we present the vase.
Do the vase?
Maybe.
Well, only one way to find out.
But where?
I would think here at the forgery line, because it's
Probably.
specifically, like, the little hint we get in the wraparound text says we gotta find a way to tie him to the forgery, right?
Right.
So I feel like this is definitely the right spot.
Yes. I don't know, give it a shot. If we lose approval points, the game will tell us for real.
That's true. Alright, here we go.
Alright. Oh, the music stopped!
You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery. But I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this jar, for example.
That's the blue badger you showed us earlier.
A piece of this jar was discovered in your safe. Not only that, but the evidence list I presented earlier was actually found inside your desk.
It was found where?
You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation.
Chief Gant, what's the meaning of this?
Ho-ho! Here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. So you admitted to it, then, that you were involved in the forgery. Who, me? Or did you mean you? Me? Why would I have anything to do with that? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Righto?
However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation.
Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment. What? If Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work.
Yes, well, in light of the detective's points, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office and their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene.
My. Kids these days no longer know how to put 2 and 2 together.
Evidence and forgery. Let's go.
Let's see, what was it now? A jar fragment and a list? For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when these pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way.
Well, that's not true, because he went from a one position to a higher one.
I mean, true.
Mr. Wright.
I may drop out for 10 seconds. I'm putting my microphone on its stand.
Ooh.
And by
It's getting
stand,
serious now.
and by stand, I mean my 10-pound dumbbell weight that puts this about mouth height for me.
That's
Perfect.
exactly the kind of sacrifices we have to make for our craft, Nick.
Exactly. Yes, Your Honor.
When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol.
You do understand I'm the chief of police, right? There will be consequences. Oh. Indeed, I believe I will press charges, so you won't make the same mistake again.
My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know.
Oh, all right, Udgy. In return, though...
I know, that place, right?
Huh? What are these guys, telepathic?
He tells me they're part of the same Elk Club.
Right. Yeah, they've both had, like, Mason symbols for forever.
Yeah.
All right, pressing it all?
All of it.
Let's do it. I'd appreciate it if you'd stop making these ridiculous allegations. Yes, you do have a point. You wouldn't have the guts to do something like that. What? I'll have you know, back in the day, I once broke into a cattle ranch and tipped...
But Mr. Wright, what were you saying?
Anyway, if you can't prove you didn't carry in the evidence, you can't prove you didn't carry in the evidence, can you? If you have proof to the contrary, you're gonna need it later.
Later? What are you talking about?
What else? I'm talking about when Righto's prints are found. Yes, if they're found inside my safe, they would prove his investigation was illegal. Never faced anyone as slimy as this guy. What do you mean by that? I mean, this is all purely hypothetical, of course, but suppose I did place those items in my safe. such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery. If concealing evidence found at a crime scene isn't forgery, I'm not through speaking yet, righto? It all depends on when the evidence was discovered. Are you saying that this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation? It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, it could have suddenly materialized the day after Dark was sentenced. Oh, and wouldn't that be convenient?
Right. The chief is talking about a possibility, so long as you can't rule that out. The remarks, however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time.
Tell me something I don't know. Oh, come on, Righto! Think about it. How can you look me in the eye and say that? Because I'm innocent. Remember? Who was it that murdered Neil?
I'm not sure we care for the word murder here. But in the end, the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's unfortunate demise was Emma Scott.
Well, now, do you see?
Yeah, at best it would be involuntary manslaughter.
Right. Which I will go ahead and tell you is a nuance that this game is not going to recognize.
No, it's clearly not.
Really, Chief Gant? At the very least, there is one very large benefit you've reaped from all this. Oh? I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? That would, of course, be the position you have. Chief of Police.
Oh.
The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive. Ho, ho, ho! Oh, that's a good one. Huh? Do you really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a little. Is that true, Edgeworth?
Yeah, he was going to be made chief anyway.
Oh. Now be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at.
So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. You didn't do it for yourself. Then you did it for someone else.
I love his character model, like expressions.
Yeah.
Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. There! It's out in the open now. Oh, gee, would you mind if I changed my testimony a little?
By all means, please do.
I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me. Nothing in it for you? Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you better think again.
You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone.
I'd be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised.
You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though.
Oh! Oh, that's a good one, Worthy. Huh. Could there have been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone out? So what do you think? I think we've hinted at it the entire case. I think it's a little bit more difficult to see because we've spread the case out over so much time.
Is he doing it to protect Emma?
Would he be protecting anybody? He could be doing it to protect somebody, but what would he get in return? He already said he doesn't care about Emma.
Right. I can't think of who his accomplice would be.
So do you want to go with no?
I'm scared to press no, though, because if no is no, is the case just over?
Typically not. The game will tell you if you're coming to a choice or if you make the wrong choice that the case is going to end.
Okay. Would he have helped someone else out? I don't know if he would have helped out Lana or Emma, because I don't know why he would have, especially given that the recent murders honestly set them both up to a life of punishment. So
think through what you just said to yourself there, Gilby. We have essentially asserted by bringing Damon Gant to the stand, right?
Yeah.
That Gant is the true murderer.
Yes.
And we just said that both of these murders have been set up in a way to make sure that they would end up having basically a lifetime sentence, right?
Right. So no, he doesn't care about anybody else.
He doesn't care about anybody else, but is there someone who does care about somebody in this equation?
Lana cares about Emma.
True.
I feel real thick. I am not picking up what you're lying down.
Again, this is one of those things that's much harder because of the time frame in which we're playing the case. What was the thing that started all of this? Lana was ready.
Incident.
Yeah, and Lana was ready to basically declare themselves guilty rather than investigate any of this, right?
Right.
And the implication...
Lana the accomplice?
I think it's possible.
Point it out.
True. You might not help anyone. You might not help out anyone for their sake, but if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone.
Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand.
That's not what I mean.
Very well, then. Who is this person you believe Chief Gant may have helped forge evidence? Lana Sky. Take that! Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky, the defendant?
I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Sky fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit.
What?
After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Sky was appointed chief prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant.
But how would he profit from all this? He would be able to use the chief prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations. Do you mean to tell me that despite the chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? Oh, wait. You must mean puppet as in someone forced into his business. Never mind.
Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Sky in forging evidence. Your motive to appoint her as chief prosecutor so you could control her. Righto, my boy. You have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something. What? Do you have any proof of this? That I controlled Lana? I mean, for example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing? Lana, she's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant.
I'm afraid without any proof, this all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture. Unless... that is what happened in this incident. This incident? Sure. Which one would that be? Of course I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The chief prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her.
Worthy, you'd better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt.
Just what do you mean?
What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. And not only that, but the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up for his involvement.
What? Order! I said order! Mr. Wright, you can't be serious.
Huh?
This is an affront to the highest-ranking officer in our law enforcement team. You accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder? That is impossible!
Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in easier to understand language.
It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us, no.
Looks like he's the one who's decided to go through with this.
Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder?
Good question.
Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell. I see. All right, then. Let's see what Mr. Wright's got. I'm sorry. And it better be good. Show us this evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman.
This is again one of those ones that would be easier if we had been playing this in a closer time period to each other.
Right.
But we have got one bullet that Gant has not known about this entire time. That we have kept a secret.
Ooh. Not the Blue Badger.
Nope. As much as I love Blue Badger, we found that in a safe. He knows about that, right?
Okay.
He knows about the picture.
He knows about the picture. I'm assuming he knows about the tape.
You actually mentioned this evidence earlier.
Is it the screwdriver?
No, he gave the screwdriver to Edgeworth to bring back.
Okay. I mentioned it earlier. Is it the list that has his ID number on it?
I think that very well could be.
I think that's it.
Let's do it.
That's it. Alright. Here we go, kids. Oh, it didn't stop. Oh, this is bad. Sorry.
Don't panic yet, Gilby. Keep to your guns!
Okay. This is the ID card.
Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 777-7777. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number. Oh, it's your number.
What? How do you know?
The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code.
7-digit? You don't mean?
I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 777-7777. The same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime.
Order! Chief Gant, what do you have to say?
Nothing. The defense's search of my office was in violation of regulations.
And I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card. Chief Gant? Do you admit it? You entered the evidence on the day of the crime?
What about it? I'm chief of police. Whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom, what's the difference? I go anywhere I want.
Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone?
I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room. Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you on that day, would he? Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days. You hadn't seen him in days? Chief Gant, I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman.
What do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine Lorna Sky's guilt. No, it isn't. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting? In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. Show us proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime.
Alright, here we are again. More evidence.
Okay.
Do you want a hint?
Yeah, I'm gonna need one.
Yeah, we're at a tough part of this game. You just mentioned this piece of evidence on the last one we were trying to figure out.
The screwdriver.
Ready?
Stop it. Is it really?
No, there's gotta be something more solid than this. Oh, right, there is. Whoops. On that day, Detective Goodman had to... Oh, no, I'm sorry, I led you in the wrong spot. Detective Goodman had to go see Chief Gant.
Sorry to interrupt your mumbling, but the court is waiting.
Oh, God, that penalty's my fault. Sorry, everybody.
It's alright, it's alright. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Why don't you come meet with me tomorrow? Perhaps we could write up your letter of termination. Regardless, you did see Detective Goodman that day.
In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. Show us proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime.
Okay, new hint. It's on the same screen as the screwdriver.
Okay.
We know it's not the
Not
luminol.
the ID card list. Is it the... No, it wouldn't be the computer. Is it the other... the lost report item?
Can only be
submitted to the chief of police, and it was submitted that day.
Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime.
Or, to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it.
So Detective Goodman filled out a lost item report. He would have had to have given that report to the chief of police. Yet you are in possession of the report, which means you can't be sure if he filed it. He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day.
He needed to?
Yes. Transfer the evidence out.
Oh.
Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room. I accompanied him.
He's sweating.
There's no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the room. Hold on. Let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the chief of police, murdered poor Goodman. Exactly.
But wait! The chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card.
Yes. Now that you mention it, I believe I might have done something of the sort.
Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body.
No!
Oh, Chief, yeah, you did it.
The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime, for no one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course.
You're forgetting, Mr. Wright. That the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office. How did he manage to move it there?
I was at the police department the entire day, you know.
And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony.
Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal. Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey, you! Take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all this time, I thought it was a useless clue, just taking up space.
How could the chief have the body? Mr. Wright, show us evidence, Mr. Driver.
To move the victim's body, Chief Gant used this.
Screwdriver?
The moment has come, Gilby.
Screwdriver?
You may rejoice. It is indeed. This is how he moved Detective Goodman's body.
What's that? Screwdriver? But what does that have to do with this case?
Mr. Edgeworth, think back to the day of the crime. What is this screwdriver doing here?
It's here because...
It's kind of wonderful because it's like the one time Edgeworth is caught off guard.
Right. I was asked to go by Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office.
But you did, because Chief Gant asked you to.
You mean I...
The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car.
Detective's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car.
Yes, unless, of course, you have another explanation, Chief? Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation: to transport the body to your accomplice, Ms. Lana Skye.
That's kind of smart.
Right?
Okay. Order! What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous accusations?
Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite.
It is a photo of the body being taken from the trunk. Chief Gant, please say something.
I believe your time's up.
My time's up?
Sorry, Righto, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we're gonna make it in time for the early bird special. But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier? A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now.
What? But this is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. So you're going to just run away after all this?
Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy.
I'm not laughing.
I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're gonna say, right? That's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Well, You think I had Lana dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof. Get it over with.
I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright.
Your Honor?
Do you have any concrete proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Skye dispose of his body?
Do I have any concrete proof?
I mean, we have to. I just don't know what it is.
So I'm going to tell you, Gilby, I'm gonna cut in here.
Okay.
This game has trained you, even if you don't know what the answer is right now, to say that you do, so that the case can continue.
Right.
It picks this moment to throw you the nastiest curveball.
Okay. Have proof.
We do not have proof yet. Not that I don't want you to have a chance to go and do stuff, but like, I have game overed in this section multiple times in a row, presenting literally everything.
Okay.
It's no use showing evidence I'm not even sure of myself. No, Your Honor, at present, I have no conclusive evidence. See, Yaji?
In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the chief.
What? Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, righto? It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Aji, I'll leave the rest to you.
Oh, I hate this. I hate this so hard. I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to a senior officer in our nation's law enforcement.
Now, Gilby, what if I did this to you just because I wanted you to see the worst game over screen in this entire game?
Are you kidding me?
Absolutely. I would not do that to you.
Lady Luck. Maybe we should have a word with her. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean? Yeah, Nick, what do you mean? Hold up. There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony.
Lady who knows the truth. Another witness.
In the absence of conclusive evidence, only other method is proof of testimony.
But Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse to testify.
There's still someone else. One more witness who can answer all the questions raised in this trial. Okay, that was awkward.
No, that's my fault.
In this trial. Someone right in this very room. Mr. Edgeworth, who was the captain? Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today. Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist?
She may not be willing to tell the truth, but we can't stop now. Yes, Your Honor, the defense calls forth.
Lana? Defendant? Miss Lana Skye?
She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 on February 21st. Her task, to dispose of the victim's body, in accordance with a certain someone's orders.
Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution has no objections, Your Honor. Very well. The court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the defendant's development. This court is now in Hold. Huh? Chief Gans. I thought you were going to eat.
Listen good, Lana. He's talking to Lana. I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder. Ugh, this isn't good. Of course, you'd never support such outrageous claims anyway. Right? Just something to think about. Alright then, I've got a lunch date to meet.
Just gonna casually blackmail you in a court of law. If there aren't any further objections, this court is now in recess.
Oh god, I love the judge.
I mean, seriously, he literally just blackmailed her in the court of law.
Yeah, what do the kids call it? I think that's saying the quiet part out loud, right?
Saying the what?
Saying the quiet part out loud, right?
Very, very loud.
Yeah.
Blackmail's illegal, isn't it?
Oh, very much so, yes.
Yeah. We're just gonna casually put. I'm sorry. Sorry. Verisimilitude.
Yeah. Well, and not to mention that this is all hypothetical.
Right.
So.
Okay. Looks like we managed to stay in the game.
Yeah.
Literally, right?
I mean, thanks to your help, Edgeworth. That chief, he's something else, huh, pals? Detective Gumshoe. I'm not a detective anymore. Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Nah, don't worry. I've already decided where to work now. At your office. My office? Sure. I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with.
Oh my god.
Could he mean Maya?
Maya.
Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Chief Gant's done it again. How is it he always gets the upper hand? It's not fair he has the right to refuse to testify.
Settle down, right? Remember what the judge said. But Chief, that is not the right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered.
Risks?
Oh, that's it.
What did he mean by that?
It's simple. The chief refuses to testify. The opposite also holds true.
I'm gonna say you take this one.
Okay. You mean he forfeits his right to say anything too? Oh, it's me.
Emma! Are you okay?
Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the galley.
So she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before.
No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved.
Relieved?
Yeah, and now I finally know what really happened. To think that all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. And she did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her.
What do you mean?
What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders. She must have shut herself up deep inside. To force herself to do anything and everything the chief told her to.
That must be why she became so cold.
It was all my fault. Well, because I murdered Mr. Marshall.
Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal.
Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor. Oh, that's you.
I see.
Sorry,
Wow.
Phoenix.
Yeah, right. Well, we better get back. It's time for the final act. Emma, why don't you wait?
No, I'm going with you. I want to be there when Lana tells the truth. Let's go, Wright. Time to end this. To be
All right.
continued right now.
It's a sprint to the end, my friend.
Here we go! It's the final countdown.
Ba-na-na-na. Won't get DMCA strikes because we're Not
doing
doing
it for
all the
profit.
song. Right.
Now then, will the defendant, Miss Monosky, please take the stand?
Do you want me to be Lana so you can continue to enjoy the
you
process?
mind?
Not at
Would you
all.
mind, my friend? Thank you. Miss Lana Sky, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you.
But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years.
Ellipses. Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Sky. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth.
Of course, the truth.
Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant.
Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Gant.
Here we go.
I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma.
Are you sure about this testimony?
Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course, I'm sure.
But Lana! This is true. And that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this.
That's what I've been telling you from the beginning.
Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me.
But what if she's telling the truth?
She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming and
Yeah. This is no time to start second-guessing myself.
the defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Here we go.
Hey, hey.
How many years exactly? Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see, I was 24 then, so that would be 5 years.
Detective Gant and Detective Sky were legendary partners.
Movie poster one more time?
Yeah, I hope so. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases.
She must have been good, coming from the same school as Mia. Damon Gant was a respectable detective. That's why... But think about it, Miss Sky. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail. You still don't get it, or do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And...
Yeah, while he was still dead.
Hey.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Did you do so to help your sister? Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life. But what she did was justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything. That's not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him.
Lana, well, that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 weeks ago.
You say you did this all by yourself? Yes.
Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene?
It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken Prosecutor Award knife was stuck in the victim's body. What? But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement.
You mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark?
Something like that.
If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife.
Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies.
All just to protect me. Oh, right, I can read your mind. I forgot that part.
Yeah, right.
I can read between the parentheses. That's my superpower.
Turns out I'm part of the meta.
Oh, God. Sorry. Focus, Gilbert. Focus. Okay. So, when you found the scene like this, did you think ADHD? After all, this is what everything boils down to.
Yes. I broke off the tip of Dark's knife, planted it inside the wound, then moved the body. You planted the tip of Dark's knife and then you moved...
What?
Sorry.
Hold up. No, it's... But well, went too fast. You can't catch it. Sorry.
That was one of those ones where the game was going to automatically proceed. I'm pretty sure that was you broke off the tip of Dark's knife and planted it inside the body. And then the judge said, and then you moved the body. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Edgeworth was like, no, how could that be? Basically.
Yeah. You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders.
I do have a good head of hair.
My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for the sake of the others. Why'd you plant the knife? Why'd you move the body?
Why'd you move the body?
When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk.
But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there?
The reason for that is simple.
Let's have the witness explain in more detail. The reason Miss Sky moved the body.
The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. Pieces of the jar? You mean... Yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Dark committed the crime, I felt it would have been more expedient to move the body.
So, when you first found the body, the jar was already...
Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you looked at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. Neil Marshall was dead and Dark was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle. What's the matter, Emma?
Apparently the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed. But I have a feeling there's more to it than that.
There must be a contradiction here somewhere. Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone. So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't have to keep this? Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer? How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it. Period. Are you so desperate to hide that fact that you're willing to risk the death sentence?
She's lying. She did it so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened.
In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions.
Mr. Wright, my sister's lying!
Looks like she's determined to protect you to the end. She insists she's fabricated the evidence by herself.
There's no way she could have done it alone.
I've got to get Lana to talk more. If she's lying, then she's bound to slip up and make a contradiction. All right, it is out there for us to get. I will say this is a difficult logical leap.
Let's look at the evidence.
Sounds good.
I believe the evidence is the base. Again, I just don't know where to press it. My only other idea straight off the top of my head would be something in the photograph.
Okay. So I can give you a hint, I think, about where to press it.
Okay.
typically when you press and then you get them to add, like, statements to their testimony,
Yes.
usually it's to reveal a place where evidence can be used. So I think that's probably where we want to zoom in. You want to go back and look at those?
Yeah.
Okay. There's this one. I broke off the tip of Dark's knife, planted it inside the wound, and then moved the body.
Yes.
And then the pieces of the jar that
Pieces of the
shattered.
jar.
If we think it's the jar, that feels a lot more likely.
It does.
You want to go
Is that
there?
the jar here? Yeah.
Let's do it.
Oh. 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 Let's see. We have a full bar of credibility. And the music stopped.
Miss Guy, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister.
You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered?
If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I am compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction within your testimony. A contradiction? In my testimony? You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan." That's right.
Do you have a problem with that?
Well, it's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood.
That's it.
Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not yet have been broken before he died. Ah. He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar.
Order! Or... Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here.
Something critical?
Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed.
What?
Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at truth. Very well. Witness may now continue her testimony.
I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered.
You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood?
I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time.
She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence. Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Interesting.
Shall we press?
Let's press.
So the jar was already broken? It's a miracle that thing hadn't broken earlier.
It certainly looks as feeble as the defense's case.
Hey, whoa, I don't need to be catching strays over this. Not as feeble as the judge's judgment.
Hey now.
Right.
That's my character you're talking about. Oh, for God's sakes. He's gonna say the thing. You were an ace detective who never missed a beat. You really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces.
Sorry, I had to laugh over the "we said the thing." Yep.
You said the thing.
Normally I would have, but it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar? No. If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them into dust. Well, that helps my case.
Lana, you do that for me.
Seems you two might make up yet. Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was.
If someone happened upon the scene, you'd lose your chance to erase the evidence. You must have been in a hurry.
I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came.
This is rather shocking.
I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened.
What do you mean?
If you really thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood. What else could I have done in that situation?
Lana.
I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces. But how could you see with the power out? It should have been pitch black in that office. A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now, I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me.
Even I carry a bottle of hold on. Even I carry a bottle of emergency luminol wherever I go.
I never miss anything.
The ad right there.
Yeah, exactly. I got every last piece. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. So you illegally rearranged the crime scene. Yes, I don't have any excuse for my actions.
I'm so sorry, Lana. I didn't know. I treated you so badly all this time.
It's not too late. There's still plenty of time to make up. After we've gotten to the bottom of this incident.
No doubt this day will leave a permanent stain on the history of the prosecutor's office. More contradictions have surfaced in her testimony.
Your sister's really putting up a fight. She must really care about you. Still, she's not doing this the right way. I think I finally figured out the contradictions in her testimony. There's one final possibility that might turn everything around. Alright, it is out there. What do you think, Gilby?
Well, obviously she can't do it. I'm trying to see. Oh, wait. Was there a piece of the jar in his...
In his safe?
Yeah.
Sure was.
So she didn't get all of them.
And we know this because...
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't been wiped clean.
Hasn't been wiped clean. So I think we present that jar one more time.
Ready?
Ready.
Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of. What? We found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's safe. In the Chief's safe? But how? I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it.
But the witness just testified. She gathered every last piece and wiped off the blood.
Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Gant got there before you.
But couldn't the defendant have simply missed?
I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective.
He said the thing.
Who said that?
That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my pictures. They were in my mouth all along. Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, that. There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered this prior to the witness. I hope you're not implying that person was Chief Gant. At the time, he was looking for Doc downstairs in the States. Even if he was there first, why would he break the jar?
The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide the fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that?
I'm not the one on trial here. Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposely hid one of the broken pieces. Question. What is this action called?
Fabrication of evidence.
But why would Chief Cat do that? In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear? What happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Lana Skye believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dara, sparing Emma, and therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Skye became the chief's puppet.
No, I did it on my own.
Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake.
No, you didn't! It wasn't you, Emma! You didn't kill anyone! Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says! Defense attorneys make up their most foul lies to defend their clients! Foul lies? Imagine that coming from my own client.
I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist the truth.
Wait a minute.
Oh.
What if... we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap?
Is something wrong, Mr. Wright?
Lana may be right, after all.
What do you mean, right? So you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright?
Miss Skye, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie.
But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall.
Miss Skye, if you will. I can't.
There's nothing to be afraid of. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will, if you tell the truth.
Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw.
All right, the witness may testify once more for the time. Actual crime scene.
When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armor sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what had happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it, but if it all was really a fabrication, Emma might be innocent.
Unbelievable. The body was impaled on the armor sword. You really... If only you had proof.
Actually, I do have proof. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. What? To me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed. But I don't remember receiving a picture like that.
Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright? She really does have faith in you. Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture.
I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana.
Lana said she gave it to you this morning, right?
I seem to remember getting something from her then.
Let's check that evidence again. There must be a picture in there somewhere. Okay, let's go back to the book. It was the book. How cute is the little peep in the Sherlock Holmes hat?
I know.
Little cutie. Yo. Oh, look, there's something. Wait. There's something. Oh, right there.
Hey, there's a picture here.
Look at the photograph. Oh. Oh my. This is the actual crime scene.
No other detective saw the crime scene like this because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I had rearranged everything.
Lana's picture inserted. Court record. Mr. Wright. That piece of cloth cut out from his vest. Could that be...
Cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe. What's this?
This is a handprint, isn't it? That cloth had fingerprints on it. Whoever's fingerprints those are must be the real murderer.
What? But those fingerprints... They're yours, Emma!
Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright? Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer. Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Actual crime scene.
Shall we press? Nope!
Oh, it's not. Oh dear.
Come now,
That's
Audrey.
from the Bluebird special.
Right. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen.
Gant?
What? Now you want to make me out as the bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense.
I'm afraid it's too late for that.
What?
You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort.
This must be that risk we were talking about earlier.
Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck. That is an animation, I tell you.
So what? You think I'm worried? Sorry
that
to
animation
disappoint.
was totally normal and
I know, right?
absolutely appropriate.
Yeah, not a problem with that at all. Sorry to disappoint you. But I don't need to make any statements.
What do you mean?
The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence.
Yes, that's true. Wait. You mean you still have some conclusive evidence?
No, I don't. But someone does.
Someone?
So, what's your excuse, Righto? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death? Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt.
Is this true, Mr. Wright?
If I show that piece of evidence now, Emma's sure to be made out as the murderer.
Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now. And if you try to conceal anything, we'll be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries.
What do I do now? I better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I present that piece of evidence? The one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall?
I think he has to, right?
Do we?
Well, the right thing to do, it's the legal thing to do.
It is the legal thing to do. Well, actually, is it?
Because he broke into the safe, so I don't know if it is, actually.
Yeah, so if he broke into the safe, he can't be the one to introduce it, right?
Right. So no, we can't show that evidence. What a shame.
I know, how sad.
A shame.
Yeah, only the police can introduce evidence. That's weird.
Right? Oh, that's right. That's an explicit law in the book.
Yeah, Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. What? You lie!
Chief Gant.
You opened my safe. I know you took what was inside. The conclusive evidence.
Yeah, but the book that I was given.
Yeah,
This is where the book comes in.
I-
Okay. I get it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mr. Wright, you should have. We found it together.
Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it.
What are you talking about, Chief Gant?
Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area?
It looks like part of it's been cut out for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe? What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department.
I want to. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, Rhino. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened.
What? You mean you into it?
I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana.
So you really were manipulating her?
I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, then when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid.
So you assisted Miss Sky?
I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room.
And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dark convicted.
When I tampered with the crime scene, I had 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence? You mean those items in your safe?
But why?
For insurance, of course. Insurance? I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed.
You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence?
What do you take me for, a fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I hid the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces.
But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar too?
Ho ho ho! Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance.
You mean that piece of cloth?
Oh, come on, Righto. Cough it up already. I know you have it.
What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright?
So you admit to it then, Chief Gant, that you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe. Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer.
Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present.
Foolish move, Righto. You should have shown it then before it was too late. It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived.
Oh, on a technicality.
As long as I don't mess up here, victory is mine.
Cannot show the evidence.
Can you not now?
Well, because it has to be reported, right?
2 pieces that have to be done.
Okay, hold on. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the department. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial.
And he just made it relevant, right? By saying it was in his safe?
Yes. So the cloth. We have to present the cloth, though.
We do have to present the cloth.
Okay.
Trust me on
I
this.
don't like it. I don't like it, but it's
I know.
okay, so.
I know. Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now.
All right, then. Let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall.
Ready?
Yeah.
Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh, yes! At last, you finally brought it out into the open.
There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, prosecution requests that be immediately sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather. There must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly. You mean it could not have been forged? It must be authentic, conclusive evidence.
You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy.
What?
Think about it. Righto had all this time to present this evidence, yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be?
You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on it. Mr. Wright, do you really know? Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they?
Very well. I'll tell you. Should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. The person to whom these fingerprints belong to is...
It's Emma, right?
It is Emma. I know this is scary.
It's very scary. The sky? What? They're mine?
I'm sorry, Emma.
But why? Why didn't you tell me?
You're really something, Rhino! You knew this girl did it all along, and you still tried to pin the murder on me.
Though it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his...
How could you? You monster!
Miss Sky.
You knew whose fingerprints were there all along, yet you acted like she really didn't. Miss Sky, it's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet. Ha! But I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career, too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy! Oh, what's the matter? The cat got your tongue? Aren't you gonna tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh, and what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall?
What?
Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask?
It was Emma Sky, wasn't it?
I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? I'm talking about a contradiction. One that proves who the real killer is.
Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth. Could it possibly contradict?
Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here.
I'm so excited.
Behold! The piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth!
Is it the photo? That would be the photo.
If this was the photo,
Yes.
and he cut this out of the vest,
Yes.
what do you think you would see all over this cloth?
Blood. Oh.
And what exactly is this supposed to be? This is the picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out?
Yes. His shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though.
Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs, no doubt, were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth.
Oh, but that piece of cloth. Wait. There's no blood on it.
Ah! Since Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time. No, this is nonsense. Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside.
He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out.
If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Ms. Lana Skye, picked up the unconscious prosecutor, and impaled him on the armor's sword?
Then, make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death. Said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. Jar that they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue. And make Lana believe her sister did it.
Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut this bloodless piece of the victim's vest? Ironic, isn't it? Through the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer. No! It's finally all over. Objection! Oh, that was close, Rhino! You almost had me! Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations.
What do you mean you refute his allegation?
Do you see that piece of cloth is illegal evidence?
Order! Nonsense is this?
Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Udgy? Earlier, old Righto here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Righto? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you? Your Honor, I don't have any evidence that I can present at this point in time.
Well, that's true. Defense did refuse to present evidence.
At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence.
But that's not fair!
Did you actually think you could best me in court? It looks like the last laugh's on you, son.
I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth. True. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Mr. Wright?
It seems, at last, the time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived.
Here we go! Mr. Wright, you admit to it. That you purposely and illegally concealed this piece of cloth? I did not!
I admit I refused to present it at one point. So the evidence is illegal! Act up!
Yeah, but we weren't done.
No, it isn't, Mr. Gant. Huh? It's not that I didn't present evidence then. It's that I couldn't.
What do you mean you couldn't?
There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence. No, Udgy, don't listen to his lies! He's nothing but a coward! You can't really believe...
There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? Very well, let us settle this once and for all. Earlier you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now. Nicholas, please pull up that lovely textbook with the peep in the Sherlock Holmes hat, if you will.
Oh, I'm more than happy to do so, Gilby. Shall we?
Yes. Oh, yes, let's shall.
This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth. Nothing more. What? You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law.
Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department.
I found this piece of evidence myself, inside your safe. It goes without saying I did not have approval from the police department.
Rule number 2, unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial.
And here's the crux of the matter. You see, at the time, it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and... Sorry, but can you recall when was that picture presented?
That was shown only a few moments ago.
No.
He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, a piece of cloth was still meaningless.
The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant.
You yourself confessed to a certain truth.
Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest? Oh, yes! No!
It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth.
The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. And there's only one person who that could be. Damon Gant. The killer was you! Oh, I knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years he's been snooping around the department, trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me.
Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty.
He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Starr, then convinced Bruce Goodman. Detective Goodman? Yeah, that's right. If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you gotta help me. One last Jake Marshall for us.
There we go. That's a wrap on Jake Marshall, everyone.
Probably, yeah. Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit.
He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence.
Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then all of a sudden, he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman?
Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? We can't transfer the evidence. There are too many questions left unanswered.
He opened his evidence locker, and as he was taking the evidence out, he said,
"It's not too late. I'm going to hand all this over to Marshall."
Well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it. That accursed knife. I couldn't just pull it out.
Doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible to measure crime.
Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor, I didn't realize my fatal mistake. A bloody handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker. I used to be known as the crime computer. But everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it.
Then you put the body in my car.
I'm sorry. I just couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. Leaving the prosecution's car aside, how? How could you get Miss Skye involved in all this? Well, she had as much to lose as I did if the truth came out.
So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker.
I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have time to pick and choose what to take. So, you left the jar fragments in the glove. Yeah. It looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. Katie says, blowing out that mic so hard. You're welcome. That
Who,
epic...
me?
No, me. That epic laughing scene deserved only my best take.
Like
Thank
I
you.
said, I thought you broke the computer.
Right. They all did their best to get in my way. I gotta hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay.
Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that.
Tell me, Worthy, why do you stand in court?
Me?
You despise criminals. I could feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. Well, looks like it's, time to say goodbye. Oh, Aji.
What?
It looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend.
I'm sorry too, David. I knew you as you used to be, long ago. You were once a fine investigator and an example to others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that.
Those days are gone now, Edgy. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Wright here and Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sounds of a new beginning. There are two things I want you to understand. Yes? First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Skye, you no longer have any reason to keep silent. You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years, from the time I had Gant help me forge evidence, up until today.
So, it seems all the questions raised in this trial have been...
I'm sorry, Miss Skye. I couldn't get you out of all of your trouble. My. What high standards you have for a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows? A few years from now, you just might make it to the top. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Miss Skye. And you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you.
It was nothing.
Liar. I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. Fuck. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth.
Stop it. I only did my job. In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining in order for us. Miss Sky,
Yes, Your Honor.
you are innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact is you still acted as his accomplice. A trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date.
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
Is there something amusing about all this? Why are you smiling?
It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free of these heavy chains.
Well, this trial has gone on far too long. Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Lorna Sky, not guilty.
Yay! Woo!
That is all. The court is adjourned. And that's a wrap on Udgy.
It is a wrap on Udgy.
February 25th, 5:03 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2.
At long last. It's finally over. Emma? Why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook, but at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit.
No, it's not that. It's now, after the trial ended.
I can see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. You've done well.
You know, I did my best too. But Anna didn't say a single word to me.
I hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, I guess I am. I'll come back later.
Gumshoe. Classic Gumshoe.
Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making a detective run around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding.
Oh. Are you here because of my sister again?
Nope. Not this time. I came today because of you, pal.
Me?
That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone.
Anna.
Should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know. Well, I won't tell if you won't. Emma, I owe you an apology.
It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it.
That day, 2 years ago, was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in that mess.
Sis.
I asked Gant to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake, but now I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day.
There's the poster.
There's the poster. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself, but I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew.
But sis, you were only doing it for me.
No.
Huh?
I turned my back on you that day. In hiding what I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you.
Sis.
I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry.
But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now.
You're happy?
Of course. You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have.
Oh, Emma. Emma!
No.
No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in so doing, we can find the way back to our rightful path. And it's from there that we can move on toward a brighter future. At least that's what it felt, watching the two sisters make up. Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe, me? Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? Edgeworth? Stop hiding and come over here.
Hiding, of course he was.
Yeah, just in the corner sulking somewhere.
Right.
Where was he hiding?
I just came to say congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Right. Well, I'll be going now.
Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you.
It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realize today that I can't correct my mistakes. Mr. Edgeworth. Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right.
You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring him down once you try to go it alone.
I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I needed a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now.
But Edgeworth...
Who knows? Given enough time, I'd have tried to pull something that she can't do. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue as prosecutor.
Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime. But they both made the same mistake. You said in order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone.
Yep.
You were working together with Mr. Wright. And because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Huh? What? Oh, yeah, yeah. What is this, a pop quiz?
Oh, come on, Mr. Wright. Show him what Lana's talking about.
Evidence, huh? Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own.
Oh, God, it's a test. It is a pop quiz.
It is the final presentation that gets you the good ending to the case, yes. Do you want me just to tell you what it is?
Yes, please.
It's the badge.
It's the what?
It is the attorney's badge. The one thing
No
we have not
way.
presented. Yes, way.
No fucking way. Okay.
Because if it wasn't for Edgeworth, neither one of them would be here.
Alright, it's the badge.
Take that!
That might mean something to you. I don't see how it had anything to do with her partnership.
Huh? Mr. Wright, it seems you still have a lot to learn as well. Oh no, did the walkthrough lie to me? I guess that wasn't the right piece of evidence. The walkthrough lied to me! No!
Oh my god, wait, load save! Come on. Oh no!
All right, folks. Sorry, we don't have time tonight. Gilby, we'll just have to go back and see it another time.
Oh my god. Okay. I mean,
All right, remind me, next time we stream, I will get us back to that spot and we will make the correct choice. I can't believe I blindly followed this walkthrough.
oh.
Boy, I am so disappointed in myself. Okay.
It's okay. Here we go.
Because I remember what the answer is now. It's the evidence list. Because we have half of it and he has half of it. And we had to put it...
Because it was a partnership. It was a metaphor for partnership. Oh, God.
I'm so disappointed in myself right now.
It's okay. You know what, Nick? What we have done for the greater good, because now, go back and they watch this video, they'll know what not to pick.
That's true. We'll know that whoever made this walkthrough on trueachievements.com is a liar.
And a thief of goodness.
Yeah, a thief of joy.
Mr. Edgeworth. If you'll excuse me. There are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor.
Edgeworth! What will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember. You can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you.
I know. It seems I owe you my thanks too, right? But what I face now is my problem.
Edgeworth. I'll be waiting for you in court.
Farewell.
Spoiler alert, he does not come back for a long time.
Interesting. Okay.
I'd better be going too.
Okay. I'll be by to visit soon.
It seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you.
Scientific investigation.
It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well.
Thanks, sis. I will. Well.
And so, another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Faith that their lives have only just begun. And as for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. A journey to rediscover myself.
And go back and fix what happened with Edgeworth.
Well, don't go trekking off just yet, pal. Huh? What is it, detective? It's just a little matter of to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this.
But...
I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, maybe okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Huh? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Huh?
Way to go, detective. I didn't know you had a wild side.
Yeah, well, you see, Mr. Wright here's the one who'll be footing the bill. Huh? Huh? Why, you think I can afford it with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal. Huh? Huh? Huh?
Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best.
Why is it I suddenly feel like I want to scream? Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all go pay it off together?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go.
There you go, Gilby. Officially, we have finished the first Phoenix Wright. Just a lovely prologue to watch now.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh, sister team. That'd be cool.
I do wonder how bad I was blowing out the mic when I was laughing for Gant, though.
You'll hear it for yourself, don't you worry.
Great.
Oh, good.
Katie says so bad.
It's true.
It's still worth it. I have no regrets.
I don't regret it either. It was perfectly appropriate for the situation.
Sonically inappropriate, but
Sonically
situationally.
inappropriate, but situationally, absolutely. You're just playing for the last row.
Exactly. Yeah, and when do I not, frankly?
Ever.
While the credits are rolling, thought we might do a little talking about the future.
Negan! My new mission is to guard the main entrance and take care of Billy. Can you believe it? I've been demoted to a security guard. My partner's keeping an eye on the entrance for me today.
Who do you think his partner is?
Oh God, is it Gumshoe?
Nope.
Yeah.
But while we do not know what we're going to be playing next as part of the Gilbert Got a Game network, we are going to be moving that playthrough over to Gilby's channel.
Yeah.
We want to make sure.
Gilbert Got a Game.
Yep, we have been over here for a while. We want to make sure we're doing some equal time. There's his partner watching the door.
There's Bluey. Good old Bluey.
There's the boy himself.
The man, the myth, the legend.
But yeah, so if you do not already follow us over at
Oh no!
if you do not already follow us over at Gilbert Got a Game on Twitch, please go over there, drop us a follow, so that way you do not miss whatever.
Guys, it's fun too.
Yeah, whatever our new
fun
series is going to be.
But and my charms. This guy.
Oh, Jake.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point.
What's that?
Snuck in a knife in jail.
Well, listen.
Yes, I'm listening. Go on.
He's got some idiosyncrasies that he has to indulge. That's all.
All right, Angel. Dramatic pause while she switches her bangs.
The right way lunch.
Nice. Oh, okay, girl. I see what you're doing. Oh, okay. How do you eat food backwards?
I guess if you flip it out of its box?
Maybe. That's
Listen,
upside down, though.
It would take a lot of effort, is what it sounds like.
It would, yeah. Just don't do it, is really what she's saying. I'll never forget what that self-defense lawyer said after the trial. Let's see what was again. Anyway, he said he'd been doing something or other. Well, anyway, another trial to get to, so I better be. Huh? No, I forgot my gavel. Sorry, got to go.
I love the judge so much.
So much. Does he stay exactly the same? Because he totally should.
He gets worse. I think people discovered that with this particular case, that the judge is the perfect joke person.
Oh, yes.
So if you think that him deciding that Chief Damon Gant likes to play with puppets was the most outrageous joke, give it to Maya!
Maya! Nothing soothes the soul like fresh air. Still, I do miss hearing you and your objection! Still, I can't go back until I'm a full-fledged spirit medium.
Mystic Maya, afternoon training's about to begin.
Coming! Well, see you around, Nick! I love Maya.
Maya's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I know that Slay the Princess got a full release, and that was something that we had done a demo of at one point.
Yeah.
Maybe that's in our future.
For sure. Well, there was also that that game you told me that was set in 1987 with the walkie-talkies.
Yeah, Killer Frequency.
Yeah, that too. Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, the butler. Oh no.
The resignation letter.
Hmm.
There's also Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, which I still think would be a good, fun filler stream.
What's that one?
That's the bomb disposal one where we have to be able to communicate.
Oh God! Yes, the customer service bomb disposal. I remember. Thanks for coming to see me off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be alright. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is in this book.
Shall we?
Investigation.
I say, shall we look at one last piece of evidence?
Yeah, because I bet there's a picture inside. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh. Oh my god.
Right.
Oh. Okay, I don't even have siblings, and that's really sweet.
Too stinking cute.
Yeah.
There you go, folks.
Capcom.
That is officially it. And
that's
that
a
is...
wrap on Phoenix Wright.
And I think that's going to be a wrap on us for this evening as well, right, Gilby?
I think so. I think so, my friend. Thank you for your patience and understanding as we muddled through Ace Attorney, Phoenix Wright trilogy.
It is my pleasure. I'm glad we were able to do this, and I'm glad that you got to experience a game that I really enjoy. We will talk about what we're going to do. And oh yes, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. Do you have any final thoughts for the game that you want to share with us?
I loved it. I mean, obviously, like, verisimilitude out the window, and like, because Japan is sometimes just the things you have to say. But otherwise, like, yeah. As far as like playability and like fun level, I'd say a solid 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it's a very good game, and it's
a very good game.
All waiting for us out there in the world. So.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Hopefully this time next week we will be over on the Gilbert Got a Game channel with something. We haven't decided what yet, but we will figure it out. But in the meantime, I am Nick, a.k.a. Pavel the Barbarian Bard, with my bestest voiceover buddy,
Gilbert Got a Game.
And thank you all so much for choosing to spend your time with us. We're glad that you were here. Thank you, and play more games. Bye. Bye.